Good morning, podcasters. Today we explore Gen Z and what kind of podcasts they're listening to. My daughter Bree is a college freshman and she's back home for Thanksgiving weekend. Yay! While we were sitting at the counter, I took the opportunity to talk to her about what she's listening to and what her friends are listening to when it comes to podcasts. Now, I would have interviewed her, but our 7-year-old was feeling left out, and that was becoming a thing. So I'm just going to relay the responses to you. Parenthood, am I right? So first I asked her what specifically she listens to when it comes to podcasts, and she said these are the 5 shows she listens to regularly. 1, Therapy Gecko. That show's description: an unlicensed lizard psychologist travels the universe talking to strangers about absolutely nothing. They post new episodes 3 times a week. They stream them live on Twitch, and they take call-ins from guests, and apparently it's hilarious. 2, she listens to Anything Goes with Emma Chamberlain. Their description: Emma prefers to share her thoughts with a microphone rather than a physical human being, so thank God she has a podcast. Recorded from the comfort of her bed, Emma talks at length about whatever is on her mind every week. Anything really does go on this podcast. Sometimes philosophy, sometimes a random story from 10 years ago, sometimes advice, and sometimes nothing at all. You never know what you're going to get, but that's what keeps it interesting. New episodes every Thursday. Again, that's Anything Goes with Emma Chamberlain. Third thing Bree and her friends listen to is the comment section with Drew Affalo, and this one's description is: it's going down in the comments in this new weekly show from Defender of Women on the Internet, Drew Affalo. Join Drew and a new weekly guest as they explore the dreaded comment section in their tagged videos on TikTok. Through a candid discussion and lots of laughs, Drew keeps it real and gives in-depth advice on the issues that you care about most. All right, 2 more of these. The fourth one is Podcast But Outside. And that one is we interview a famous person but have no idea who they are, with guests Andrew McCann and Cole Hirsch. And then finally, the one that's title makes me laugh all the time. It's the Tiny Meat Gang podcast. Comedians Cody Ko and Noel Miller make you laugh, hopefully. So that's what my 18-year-old daughter is listening to. I asked Bree if there was any common thread to the shows that she listens to, and she said they're all funny or they all make fun of men. And she said they're relatable, and all of the hosts are Zs or younger millennials. It was really interesting because later I found Spotify's latest Culture Next report about listenership amongst Zs. One of the points from the report said Zs are more likely than millennials to describe their generation as, quote, stressed out, and, quote, 67% of Zs say that they're stressed out versus 48% of millennials. It also says they're more likely to agree that, quote, their generation is under too much pressure to fix the world's issues, end quote, and that's 76% of Zs versus 72% of millennials. In the Culture Next report, which I will share in the show notes and on goodmorningpod.com, Spotify found that 75% of Zs in the U.S. say that they use audio to understand themselves better, which is cool. A few other points from the survey. It said in 2021, Gen Z streamed more audio than they consumed any other media, including television, videos, and video games. In quarter 1 of 2022, 18 to 24-year-olds streamed 578 billion minutes of music on Spotify. That was the most of any demo group and 16 billion more minutes than the 25 to 34-year-olds. Also interesting, if you're not a podcaster who is a Z, 70% of American Gen Z kids said they like, I shouldn't say kids anymore, 70% of American Gen Z people said they like listening to and watching media from earlier decades because it reminds them of when things were simpler. So that's promising if you're running any sort of nostalgic content. All right, back to my anecdotal conversation with Bree. I asked her how she found the podcasts that she listens to, and she said that she found most of the shows that she listens to when they were snippets on her For You page on TikTok. Almost all of the shows she listens to also have YouTube versions of the show, which she watches sometimes. And when she listens to audio only, she listens on Spotify, and that's mostly when she's driving. All of the shows were an hour long or longer, and she listens or watches in segments never watching the whole thing at once. She said if you want to connect with the Z generation, you need to be authentic, empathetic, and vulnerable, and they don't react too well to pride or bravado. This all coincides with Spotify's findings from their report that says podcasts need to go beyond sheer entertainment and serve as spaces for knowledge, learning, and even catharsis. Again, I'll link to Spotify's Culture Next 2022 report in the show notes and on goodmorningpod.com. Want to say a quick thank you to the new subscribers to the Good Morning Inbox newsletter, which comes out every Monday morning and gives you some insight that you don't hear on the show about things related to marketing, advertising, PR, or social media as they relate to podcasting. Go to gmp.fm/news to get signed up for the newsletter. It's free until January 3rd. gmp.fm/news. If you're in the U.S., have a great Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for you listening to the all-new Good Morning Podcasters. If you're not in the U.S., I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday and enjoy your Thursday as well. And we'll talk to you again on Friday right here on Good Morning Podcasters.